So, I finally have a laser cutter. This is the Laser Master 3 from Ortur in the new limited edition purple and green color. It also comes in silver if that's more your thing. And I'm going to test it by engraving a custom design onto my laptop, hopefully without destroying it. And maybe also making some tiny keyrings to give away. Thank you to Ortur for providing this machine to check out. You can check them and their laser cutters out using the link below. I already assembled and did an initial test of it in one of my short videos, but to recap, it comes disassembled and just requires you to screw the 4 sides together and add the gantry. It was a bit fiddly in parts, but easy enough once you get the hang of it, and everything you need is in the box. The design is a huge step up from the previous generation. It's sleek, it's minimal, and I really appreciate that. On the front is the emergency stop, key lock, and LED power button, and on the side is the USB port, power connector, Wi-Fi antenna, and micro SD card reader. In the middle, of course, is the 10-watt laser module. You can use the thumb screws and this little thing to, I want to say level the bed like it's a 3D printer, but this is for setting the correct focus distance to whatever you're engraving or cutting, and it just flips away when you're done with it, which is really neat. And on top is the air pump connector if you want to use air assist. You'll also find the accessory slot up the back with a toggle switch. This just lets you switch between using the Y-axis normally, or instead using the rotary roller accessory. If you don't know what that is, that's okay, just leave it to Y-axis. What I have here is just the base kit. You can add on the rotary roller, air pump enclosure platform, or a higher power laser for extra costs, but the base kit is going to be more than enough for my needs and maybe for yours as well. The only thing that I would say that I'm not a fan of is the cable management. The instructions have you use zip ties to secure the main cable and the laser cable to the machine, then you just sort of hide them behind the gantry here. It works, but it's not pretty and should definitely be improved. Oh, and if you're in Australia like me, the wall adapter that they include in the box is bad. Like, really bad. Just chuck it out, buy something better. The included one will just fall out of the wall, which you really don't want happening during a job. Don't risk it, just buy something else. But enough about what it looks like, let's actually make something with it. Included in the box are a few sample materials to get us started, so I'm going to try to make something this kind of shape, I guess. And this is what I came up with. It's a keyring or a Christmas tree ornament of my cat, and I'm going to make a few of them to give away to friends and family. But before I turn on the machine, it is my sworn duty to talk to you about laser safety. The LM3 is a desktop laser cutter with an open frame design, which has the advantage of being able to laser large surface areas by just putting it on top, but it comes with the disadvantage of being less safe than fully enclosed alternatives. Looking at lasers, even indirectly through reflections, can cause permanent injuries, so I want you to remember to always wear eye protection, have a fire extinguisher nearby, only cut materials you 100% know are safe, ensure good ventilation, limit usage to only trained professionals, don't let other people or pets nearby, never leave it unattended while it's turned on, and never, ever look directly at the laser. The LM3 has an emergency stop button if things go wrong, and also has a key lock so that untrained people can't turn it on. It also apparently has protection in case it gets bumped or falls off a table, for example, but I haven't tested those features and hopefully don't plan to. And if you're going to be using this in a shared environment like a makerspace or school, I'd also highly recommend buying an enclosure or an air filter. At that point, they're basically a requirement for you. Laser cutters unlock so much potential for your projects, but they also have the potential to mess you up permanently. So I've linked some more laser safety guides in the description, and before you buy a laser, please make sure you're aware of the dangers and the safety requirements. Thank you. Cool, now let's laser some things. I'm going to be using the Laser Explorer mobile app, which is honestly quite a bit more powerful than what I expected out of an app. It even has built-in functions to easily make puzzles, QR codes, or sketches, which is fun, but I'll just be uploading the file that I made previously. Now, there's probably an easier way to align things, but I just drop the wood piece in, then use the preview button, which shows an outline by running the laser at a really low power. Then I just adjust the material to be mostly in the center of that outline, and we're good. For these keyrings, I selected the basswood material in the app, which automatically set the laser power and speed for me. Usually with these things, you do a test pattern to figure out the perfect power and speed to cut or engrave the material. But I only have 4 pieces and I want to use all of them, so I don't have room to do a test cut, which just means I'm going to blindly trust the app and hope it gets the right settings for me. And it ended up doing the raster layer at 15,000 millimeters a second at 100% power, and the vector layer to cut everything out, I believe was at 300 millimeters per second, also at 100% power. And this is how they came out. Now, I did burn the edges quite a bit, but if I was cutting any more of these, I definitely would have tried to dial in the settings, but because I was only making 4 of these, I didn't really care, so I'm really happy with them being not quite perfect. Also, I put this ceramic tile under the wood. It cost $1 and it's just a really easy way of protecting your work surface. And the next thing that I'm going to laser cut is my laptop. The first thing that went wrong is that it didn't fit. It was just a tiny bit too tall. Maybe in the future I'll 3D print some feet to raise it up a bit, but for now I just opened it flat and put it on a towel. In hindsight, putting a towel near a laser cutter probably wasn't a good idea, but if things did go wrong, I had a fire extinguisher nearby and ready. And I first did a test engraving on the bottom where nobody will ever see it, and the default settings for metal engraving worked really well for me. Also, this is my old grubby workshop laptop, so if something does go horribly wrong and I somehow destroy it, I'm not too concerned. And because this is my workshop laptop, I wanted to make it on theme, so I did some doodles, exported the image, loaded it into the app, calibrated my settings, and pressed start. And this is where the second thing went wrong. I used the preview button to line up where I wanted the engraving, but I messed up somehow and started lasering the plastic hinge. And this could have been really bad. This is why you never leave a laser unattended. I caught the issue quickly, hit stop, and fixed my settings before starting it again. And you've probably noticed that my laser cutter is outside of my balcony. This just means I don't have to worry too hard about ventilation, because laser cutting wood absolutely stinks. Anyway, here's the final result. I didn't keep track of how long it took, maybe 45 minutes in the end. And in the right lighting, it's really visible, but when it's not under direct light, it's actually a lot more subtle than how it looks on camera. And I really like this sort of low-key appearance. And I should have made the design a bit larger. I think I got spooked when I messed up the sizing the first time, but I can just add some extra engravings around the outside to fill up the gaps. This whole process turned out to be a lot easier than I anticipated. The app isn't perfect, but once I got the hang of it, it took me no time at all. And in the time between starting this video and now, I actually picked up a new laptop, and unlike the one that I just laser cut, I'm pretty sure this one is painted. So if I engraved it, it would hopefully reveal the raw material underneath by lasering away the paint and look really defined. So maybe I'll do something way more detailed and flashy. Please let me know in the comments if you have any ideas about what I should engrave. So after using this laser cutter for 3 separate projects, what are my thoughts? Well, I think this is an amazing entry-level machine. And I'm saying that because it's minimal, it's easy to use, and because of the ecosystem offered by Ortur. You can add a more powerful laser, a purifier, an extension, or a platform, and easily turn this into a really great all-round machine that would be great as a workhorse for a small business or in a shared environment like a makerspace. But with just the base kit that I have, I'm really happy having this tool in my workshop, where I'll be the only one using it every now and then, and it's light enough that I can probably just add a hook to my wall and hang it up when not in use. Laser cutters are becoming much more mainstream, just like what happened with 3D printers, albeit with a lot more safety considerations to keep in mind. The Ortur LaserMaster 3 strikes me as the Prusa Mark III of the laser world, just a really refined and reliable machine. And speaking of 3D printers, the next project I'm going to work on with the LM3 is a custom designed 3D printer enclosure for my Prusa Mark III. That'll be its own video where I design it, assemble it with aluminium extrusion and 3D printed parts, and then laser cut acrylic windows for it. I'm not sure when I'll finish that video, they always take way longer than I anticipate, and I have a full-time job and other commitments to work around. But regardless, I'm going to continue using this laser cutter in a lot of my upcoming projects, and if it's reliable, I'll let you know, and if it's unreliable, I'll also make sure to let you know. Oh, and if you're interested in picking up a laser cutter from Ortur, consider using my affiliate coupon code below, and we both get a little kickback from it. Cheers!